Dear viewers, welcome back to my channel. People disappear every day. Some are found, others leave clues, but then there are those who vanish without a trace. No clues, no answers, just lingering questions. In today's video, we'll explore some of the most disturbing cases of people who seemingly vanished into thin air. These unsolved mysteries continue to baffle experts and haunt the families left behind. Let's dive into these chilling cases. On the night of May 14, 2008, 19-year-old Brandon Swanson was driving home from a party in Minnesota when his car veered off the road into a ditch. Unharmed, he called his parents for help, telling them he was near the town of Lind. His father drove to pick him up, but when they reached the location Brandon described, he was nowhere to be found. Still on the phone with his parents, Brandon suddenly exclaimed, "Oh shit," before the call cut off. That was the last anyone ever heard from him. Despite extensive searches, there were no signs of struggle, no body, no car tracks leading away. What happened to Brandon remains an unsolved mystery. On February 9th, 2004, 21-year-old nursing student Maura Murray emailed her professors, saying there had been a death in the family, though her family later confirmed this was a lie. She then packed her car and drove into rural New Hampshire. Later that evening, her car was found crashed on the side of the road, but Maura was nowhere to be seen. A local witness saw her just minutes before police arrived, seemingly unharmed and waiting for help. But by the time authorities reached the scene, she had vanished. No footprints leading away, no confirmed sightings, just her abandoned vehicle and a trail of unanswered questions. Lars Mittag, a 28-year-old German tourist, was vacationing in Bulgaria when he got into a minor altercation that led to an ear injury. A doctor advised him not to fly home immediately, so he stayed behind while his friends returned to Germany. But what happened next was bizarre and deeply unsettling. Surveillance footage from Varna Airport shows Lars acting strangely, pacing nervously before suddenly running out of the terminal, abandoning his luggage. He was last seen sprinting into a nearby forest. No one has seen or heard from him since. Some believe he was suffering from paranoia or a psychotic break. Others suspect foul play, but the truth? Still unknown. On Christmas Eve, 1945, the Sodder family's home in West Virginia burned to the ground. The parents and 4 of their children escaped, but 5 of their children were never found. Shockingly, there were no bones, no remains, nothing to suggest they had perished in the fire. Over the years, the Sodder family received strange letters and even a photograph that suggested at least one of the missing children had survived. Did they run away? Were they kidnapped? To this day, the case remains one of the most baffling disappearances in history. One of the most famous disappearances in history, Amelia Earhart set out to become the first woman to fly around the world in 1937. But somewhere over the Pacific Ocean, her plane vanished. Despite massive search efforts, neither she nor her aircraft were ever found. Some believe she crashed and perished at sea, while others speculate she was captured by the Japanese or even lived in secrecy under a new identity. To this day, theories continue to emerge, but the truth remains lost in time. These cases remind us of how people can disappear without a trace, leaving behind only questions and speculation. Were they victims of foul play? Did they choose to vanish? Or is there something more sinister at play? What do you think happened to these missing people? Share your theories in the comments below. If you found this video intriguing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unsettling mysteries. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.